Hey guys, welcome back to the Kool-Aid Podcast. Welcome back to season 2, episode 115. On today's episode, we're going to be giving you our post-match reaction to the amazing performance that Barcelona put in their game against Real Betis at home. It was a dominant 4-0 display. Fantastic from Barcelona. We're going to dive right in. But guys, remember, I posted a link on Twitter at Kool-Aid Podcast 10. If any of you guys ever want to join and give your thoughts and discussions, always feel free and welcome to. But let me introduce my co-host for tonight, Alex and Alvaro.
Hey guys,
Yo,
what's up?
yo.
All right, guys. As I said, what a performance that Barcelona put in against Real Betis. You can just it's night and day the performances that we've been seeing. We've been seeing the performance against, like, for example, like Rayo Vallecano in midweek. It was slow. It was like a dreadful performance. It wasn't the performance that we wanted to see at all. And then at home in the Camp Nou, we are able to respond and respond in a convincing manner. But before I give the mic to both Alex and Alvaro, let me just show you the La Liga table. This is how the La Liga table is looking at the moment. We are 11 points clear at the top, and we only need 3 more wins. We get 3 wins, and we are champions of La Liga. And this is just depending on what we do. For example, if Real Madrid they don't win any more games, then that gap can be like we can win maybe in 2. But it depends on what Real Madrid do. But we definitely need to get the wins. You know, we want to end the season strong and end in a good fashion.
Before we dive into the game,
Yeah,
I want y'all to look at the goals against in the table. That's fucking impressive, dude. Every other
11,
that's
11.
and if we don't count that atrocious game against Rayo Vallecano, that's 9. That's single digits. So
As you said,
that shows you how good our defense and goalkeeping has been all season. Because that is not that is no joke. The second nearest is Madrid, I think. It's Madrid. No, it's Atletico Madrid. We know how defensive they are, but the next is
it's more
25,
than double.
more than double.
It's more than
So
double the goals that we conceded.
well said.
Barcelona have been playing some very good football. And it's a credit to both how incredible Ter Stegen has been and that back line. You know how incredible back has been throughout the entire season.
Through injuries.
Exactly, and keep in mind we've had a lot of injuries so far throughout the season. But Alex, your thoughts on the game?
Well, I predicted a 3-0 win. I was pretty close. I like to say that. But overall, I thought it was a very solid performance from Barcelona. We didn't really have to do a lot defensively. You know, I think Ter Stegen only made like one save, and it was a relatively easy one for him to make. So, great defensive performance, but offensively, it was a great game today. We saw a return to the 4-man midfield that we've missed so dearly now. Just sheer domination in the midfield. You know, it's the different levels, right?
Yeah,
Um, and we saw, I think, actually, I would say a great performance from players like Christensen. Seeing him back, I mean, not
amazing.
that he had much to do, but seeing him
No,
score and seeing just like the class he provides, it's incredible. Araujo, of course, played good defense. Same with Conde, Balde. But I also wanted to talk about, I mean, looking at the game now, I can't really say, oh yeah, they had an insane performance because overall everyone played well. But I wanted to go on and say that I thought one of the players that impressed me the most today was actually Rafinha. I thought he was very
Rafinha played really
solid.
well. Rafinha played
I,
really
I
well.
thought he was very solid, and not only because of the score, because of the goal, but also the assist. Right?
His performance overall, I would say.
Yeah. No, it was very solid. I really liked his performance today. I thought Pedri and Gavi both played a great game. De Jong as well. Busquets with a beautiful pass to Rafinha for the goal. That threaded ball that he gave to Rafinha I thought was phenomenal. But I also want to talk about Lewandowski. I thought today he had a very mediocre performance. When you look at the chances he was given, he should have put away more goals. Um, in particular, there was that ball that he got in front of the goal and he hit the post.
Yeah, that occasion was actually very surprising because Lewandowski usually he scores those. You're
He
one on
buries
one with the
those.
goalkeeper. He buries those. Like all you need, like it was
Yeah.
he seemed very stiff for that shot. It's uncanny of Lewandowski.
Right. So, and I don't know, like I guess he scored, which I thought was great. He had a good finish. And the service was great, right? The pass from Rafinha, I believe it was. It was just phenomenal. But I don't know. I feel like we needed to see more from him today, given how many chances he was given. There were like two or three balls that he should have just scored. But be that as it may, great that he got a goal. And actually, I was I was really impressed with Yamal's performance today. I mean, first of
Well,
all,
first, yeah, Alex, talk about it. Talk about it.
well, no, I mean, it makes me feel like it makes me feel terrible that I'm out here 19, haven't played or will never play a single professional game, and wow, it's incredible. 15 years old. I
Yeah,
don't remember what I was doing when I was 15. I was just probably playing FIFA,
yeah,
wasting money on FIFA points. But to be honest, what a performance. I know he didn't score, but the change of pace he had was
no,
insane and getting close to that goal. Yes, he could have squared it to Lewandowski, but it doesn't matter. When you're
no,
that young,
no.
I would have shot the same chance. I
Yeah,
would have passed. And
we already have our Ansu replacement. We already have our
right,
Ansu.
and can we please talk about the lob pass he gave to
Oh my
Dembele?
God, Dembele, how do you?
Remember that Barca's a factory of midfielders.
Yeah, no, but
No,
the
but
thing is, the
this
Yamal
guy's a
isn't a
winger.
midfielder. Yeah, this guy's a winger.
It's
No, no,
it's
no.
insane.
I know. I was looking at the commentary throughout the game, and I completely forgot that guy was playing on the wing. I was like, "Damn, that's
No, yeah,
crazy."
yeah. Gabi plays as that left
You're
winger.
right.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
Gabby was subbed out for Yamal, which I thought was great. Like rest your players, like,
Yeah.
and Gabby's been a player that's getting a lot more game time this
Hmm.
season. Um, but yeah, no, just absolutely filthy, like the
Hmm.
what he was doing, and he
Yeah.
didn't get a lot to like show. But from the few things that we saw, I was very impressed. And
Yeah.
like I
A
said,
very good cameo.
that lob pass, that little chip over the defense was just beautiful.
It was beautiful. It was
Put that on the
sublime.
Louvre.
Put it in the loop.
And,
Uh,
and we'll
I will
see.
your thoughts?
We'll see how. Before going to the game, we'll see how Barca handles his development because we see how
As
eager
you're
they are
right.
to add more wingers. But
I
Hmm.
mean,
this is just another winger to the cluster that we have.
to be
And
honest with
he,
you,
no, yeah,
what,
he has at least one more season of like getting your feet wet, trying to get used to
Hmm.
the A level of Spanish soccer. But I mean, we- he's surprised in the 10 plus minutes that he played.
yeah,
So
no, sorry to interrupt real quick. I just wanted to say, I think, listen, Barca don't do things just because they want to like do things, right? Like they don't do stuff just for its sake. We're
Yeah.
not gonna see a 15-year-old starting in the first
no,
team and being in the
also
lineup just because we want to break a record or something. Like
Yeah.
if Xavi's doing this, is because he and the other managers and the youth teams managers, they generally feel like this kid has a shot at being a starter in the club
Hmm.
and actually doing something. And
And
I
like
think
a rising star, like someone who can, because as
right,
Shabby said, like in the press conference after, like he's a player who could mark like an era at the club.
for sure. And again, I think in the last 3-4 years we've been in an era where we've been losing a lot of older players
Yeah.
and a lot of key players for the club, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Piqué or Diaba, they were key in their moment.
Suarez, Messi,
Suarez, Messi.
Rakitic,
Right.
you
So
know,
we've been
Piqué.
suffering. I think one of the most terrifying periods was probably in that 2020 2021. From I would say from early 2020 to like 2021, I was just terrified of Barcelona, like the performances they
It
put,
was awful. It was awful.
and terrified in a bad sense, right? Like I didn't want to turn on the TV.
No, but
Um,
okay, but in that
I mean,
performance, in that 2022 to 2021 performance, we had Messi. We had Messi in that team.
right, but
The
but who
perform
was
the season that scared me the most was the season after the when Messi left. That was the worst season
that
we've
last
even
ever.
year.
even
Yeah,
even with
last year
Messi,
because we went into the Europa. We went into the Europa.
right? No, but even with Messi, I was terrified of that time because an aging Suarez who he was still giving us goals and Messi, but then you had a midfield where Busquets. You have players like Coutinho who were just
Wait.
not.
You're thinking of the 2019, the 2021, the 2020, the 2021 season? That
No, but
was
I'm
under
thinking like
Koeman, under Koeman.
yeah, right. I was thinking more like 2019 to 2020. So like
Oh, okay.
Quique
That's at the
Setien and
time.
all these people.
Yeah. Like Kiki Setien.
But yeah, I was just thinking of players like Arthur, and no disrespect to them, but like players that just don't fit the team, right? And of course the defense, Piqué or Diab, as much as phenomenal players as they've been, those were really not their times. But it's such a breath of fresh air to see this team flourishing like this, to see how much talent we have that's really untapped. Because we gave this kid what, like 10-15 minutes today.
Yeah, and he was fantastic.
And imagine, and I've actually thought about this. I've been thinking about this all day. I think if I were Xavi, the next couple games are relatively easy. Um, I believe our next game is against Osasuna,
Let me just check that right
if I'm
now.
not mistaken.
Yeah, it's gonna be against Osasuna tomorrow.
And then the one after, I think, is against Espanyol, and then Real Sociedad. So
Yeah,
next in the next
you're
two
right.
games, I genuinely think if we can get on the scoreboard early, like if we can get early goals, sub him in. Let
Yeah,
him
so
let him cook.
no,
Real
okay,
Madrid.
you're exactly right. But this is not only just like, hey, this is a really good player. Like we wanna to like develop him. We wanna give him minutes. But this is also like an important like negotiation strategy.
For
Because
sure.
remember, Yamal is 15. He hasn't signed his first professional contract. So that means that, for example, Real Madrid, if they want him, they can offer him the his first professional contract, because all the first professional contract you can only earn it at 16, and then he can go to
Mhm.
Real Madrid, for example. And Real Madrid has shown interest in Yamal, and his agent is Jorge Mendes, and you don't get Jorge Mendes if you're going to stay at the club. Like
Right.
this is like you get Jorge Mendes to say like, hey, here's your options. If you want to go to England, if you want to go to Germany, for example, like that is what he's a super agent. It's his job. And so the main purpose of not only just because he's very talented and everything, is him playing some minutes right now. Is like a negotiation strategy is from Barcelona saying, hey, you've already played a couple minutes here. If you sign with us, if you stay, like, hey, stay with us, because you will be on track onto the first team. You will be
Right.
playing for Barcelona, and you've
And
already played in the camp now.
right.
No,
No,
and look, I'm gonna tell you right now. When you grow up through a team like he has, and like you said, you're given a chance at 15. Most people were shocked when they're given a chance at 17 or 18. He's given a chance at 15. He's literally he's even more than a kid. He's a baby. When
Yeah.
you're 15 years old,
Hmm.
so I feel like what you're saying is true. Someone that young, all they're thinking about is how grateful they are for getting a chance to play for their dream club at 15 years old.
Hmm.
It should work very well in Barca's favor.
Yeah.
But going back to the game, like we were talking about previously, the
Yeah.
Betis game that I didn't get to analyze,
Go for it.
it was dominating. We needed this win no matter what, 1-0,
Hmm.
2-0, whatever. I had guessed 2-0. At least I kept the
Hmm.
clean sheet. Um, we all thought Christensen came off pretty early on, minute 59. So he got enough playtime to get back to strength.
Hmm.
I had said Dembele 15 to 20 minutes. He played around 20 something,
Yeah,
around
yeah.
20
We,
minutes.
we haven't even good point. Like we haven't even talked about that. Uh, Ousmane Dembele, he returned. He played some minutes today, and when Rafinha was coming off, you saw the standing ovation, the applause that Ousmane Dembele received as he was getting back onto the pitch. That was fantastic to see, basically. Um, but I don't know. Because Real Betis, they did go a man down. They did go a man down very early in the game. Edgar, he got a red card.
Yeah, I got yeah, two
Yeah,
yellows. Yeah.
yeah. It was two yellows. It was two very
Mhm.
silly challenges, especially on Pedri. He was basically he was shown the red card in the 33rd minute in the first half, and so Barcelona played like very comfortably like for the rest of the entire match. And then later in the second half, when the legend Joaquim, the Real Betis legend, who was also applauded by the camp now. When he got injured, unfortunately, like we don't like to see a player injured, especially a player who is retiring at the end of the season, and who's been a legend of La Liga. When he was going off, he received a standing ovation. Um, But we saw Usman Dembele be applauded. We be applauded. Um, but my question is, do you think that Barcelona's performance was affected by that red card? Because I think that Barcelona were playing well even before that red card. Barcelona were playing really well, and that red card only helped us. I think
Um,
with 11 men, 10 men, 9 men, Barcelona were going to get the job done. What do you think?
Look, to answer your question, sports are as psychological and mental as they're physical. So for a team to get a four nil extremely dominating win, even if the other team had 10, 9, or 8 players on the pitch, that just motivates you to win the next one. And
Yeah.
that's, you know what, we got two of our guys back. We got Christians and Dembele. We're feeling good. The vibes are good. Move on to a next game, and just keep winning games and secure La Liga.
Mm-hmm.
Again, yeah, we're already up 1-0 with the record. So who knows? Maybe without the record, we have time. Maybe we could do the clean sheet. Whatever it
Okay.
was, we got the win, and the wins what matters. No one's gonna talk at the end of the season about, oh yeah, you got this win because a red, or you got this win because of an auto goal, whatever.
Right.
A win's a win, and it's gonna motivate them to perform as good as they did
Yeah.
tomorrow. Hopefully.
And,
Alex, what do you
and not
think?
just that they were both clear challenges.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
record was asserted. But again, I think I agree with what Elias and Alvaro, what both of you guys are saying. It's really a matter of Barca was playing good regardless. I
Yeah,
thought,
exactly.
they were, like Alvaro said, they were feeling themselves. They had their players back, confidence was back as well. And I just think everything clicked. And yes, that helped. But it's not, we shouldn't really be asking, did the 10-man help? I mean, that's kind of an obvious question. It's one player less is always going to help any team. But I just think regardless, you can put 10, 15 players the way Barca was playing today. I think they were,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
they were meant to win it. But again, one other thing I want to say, Barcelona have got to put away their chances.
Barcelona,
The
they
game today
have
should
to.
have been 8-0.
Mm-hmm.
We had so many opportunities. There was one that really bothered me was Dembele. Like, I'm so sorry. Like the pass that Jamal gave him, like you have, and Dembele
You
again.
have to, that missed pass reminded me of the game against Liverpool
Yes, with the
in the first leg.
Messi when he passed it
When
to me,
Messi
I
passed, I'm
remember
like, bro, you cannot be missing these chances, my
for
guy.
sure.
You
But
can't be missing the
and
opportunities.
and the other thing I wanted to say is, I thought he had a good game when he came on. I thought he took on the left back incredibly well, created chances. But if you're giving a chance like that where he's lobbing you the ball perfectly, it's coming down on you slowly. All you gotta do is tap it to Lewandowski's side, and he'll put it away. But again, that's a
He
criticism I
just
had today. I thought the
missed the
team was,
ball.
yeah, I thought the team was extremely wasteful with their chances, but luckily it didn't hurt us. But now I know we also wanted to talk about some of the. I know we also want to talk about some of the rumors, but also kind of like an overview of the season.
Yeah.
Do you guys think, before we dive into possible transfers that could benefit us and the rumors surrounding them? Do you guys think Xavi has done a good job this season? This is like barring the results, because we know obviously we've had a lot of
Mm,
injuries, um, and players have just played poorly. Like, that's another factor you got to consider. Like,
yeah.
you can't always blame it on the coach if a player's just playing like shit. But
Yeah. Hmm.
do you guys think Xavi has done a good job at his first full season in Barcelona, or do you guys think there's a lot more to work on?
That's actually a very good question. Because remember, there is some speculation on whether Xavi has deserved a renewal. Like, has Xavi done enough to renew at Barcelona? And I am in the mindset, I'm in the camp of, yes, he has renewed at the Camp now.
Yeah.
Like, he has done enough to warrant a renewal. But here's the catch. Next season, we expect a much better performance. Yes, we won La Liga. Oh, yeah. Hopefully, we're keeping it. We're taking this into consideration that we have won La Liga. We've won La
Mhm.
Liga right now, and we've won the Supercopa de España. We won 2 trophies. Next season, we need the expectation is not only, for example, to go far in the Copa del Rey, to go far, no, to compete in La Liga and
To
possibly
win,
even win
I
it.
think to
It's
win
to
both
win it.
cups.
It's
Right,
to
right.
win. It's to win both cups, and also to go far in the Champions League. That's the most important thing. Xavi's European record has been absolutely atrocious. We haven't beaten any top club so far since Xavi has arrived. The only teams that we've beaten were possibly Victoria Pilsen at the start. Other than that, we've gotten draws, defeats. Xavi's European record has been very poor. So next season we need to see a lot better. I think next season is the make it or break it for Xavi's managerial career. Um, but building on to the question that you were asking, um, I would say yes. The performance that we had today against Real Betis was very good. It was very good. But here's the problem: I can count on one hand. I can count maybe possibly on two hands how many good performances we had throughout the entire season, where Barcelona not only got the victory but they played well. Yes, there were multiple performances where we won, but they were grindy performances. You know, performances
Yeah,
of 1-0
1-0. Yeah.
where we aren't controlling the game. We're being pinned back. You know, Ter Stegen has to have some key saves, um, and on top of that, we're other games where we're just completely poor. We can't create chances. We can't do anything up front. Um, and so, looking at the team, um, how would you tackle it? Because with the returns of, for example, the possible return of Messi, how would Messi fit into the squad? Because one of the biggest,
Look, before you get into that topic, because at
yeah,
that point we might as well get into the rumors. Um, to answer Alex's question, I feel like we're also pretty pissed off about like the drastic change between Barca's playing style in La Liga
yeah,
and in Europe. If it feels like if it feels like we get scared in Europe that we don't know how to act. Um, we'll see how Xavi. I mean, every year for Barca, you're expected to win everything. That's what happens when you're in a top club.
yeah,
And next year, I mean, with all the rumors and possible signings, expectations are gonna be even higher. Plus with Messi coming in possibly. But it's what you said this year that there are some of those games that they felt like should have been won. Those games that were way too close for the opponent. And I feel like Xavi sometimes tries to overthink either the formation. I mean either the starting 11, certain tactics. We've seen that maybe he tries to think too much into what to do instead of keeping it simple. But I mean, winning La Liga, it's the greatest domestic accomplishment. Obviously, the
yeah.
UCL is the big boy of trophies, but I feel like La Liga. I mean, he's gonna win two trophies this year. So I mean, I feel like with how the team has been and with all their injuries, that's a very good finish to the season. He definitely deserves at least one more year. Obviously,
Mhm.
I don't think any of us disagrees. If next year if he fails to get past even the group stage in the UCL, questions gotta be asked. But right now, I feel like he's done enough with all the injuries and everything he's had to overcome. I mean, aside from a few hiccups, I think he's been pretty good. So,
Okay.
And yeah, I wanted to ask Elias. Well, I'll actually let you finish what you were thinking about Elias originally. Um,
Well, I mean, Ivo was right. I was gonna tie in our performances to Messi returning,
yeah.
because for example, like
Right.
we've
How would the team look?
exactly how the team look, and on top of that, because the performances between a squad that's completely healthy with our starting 11 is completely different than what we have, for example, a couple days ago where we had Cassie, Sergio Roberto,
Hmm.
or Fernando Torres into the team, even though Fernando Torres did play well. The difference is just way too much. Um, and so when we don't have our starting 11, we can't create up top. And the return of Messi, it would help the team. But for example, this isn't a 27, a 26-year-old Messi.
Right. Right.
You know, we would have to structure the team in a way that would support him. Um, and we would have to adjust and then just see how to fit them. But we will talk about Messi return. Just the question I want to ask you is: has Xavi done enough to warrant a renewal at the club?
Yeah. But again, I think well, it's a very good question. But again, I don't want to jump right into it just yet. I want to say real quick, Barcelona have not had a great season. I think Barcelona have had a decent season, and we've gotten lucky. Lucky in the sense that Madrid has played terrible in the league. Madrid has had a terrible performance in the league. Had they Any other season, I think Madrid would have walked right over us
I
with the
yeah,
way.
I wouldn't say decent. I'll say good. I would say good because, for example, our league record has been impeccable so far.
Right, no, but again, the reason I say decent is because you look at the performances, right? Not all of them show you that. It's what you were saying. A lot of them were very grindy. I remember a 1-0 victory against Girona away. Like, really, like, do you really have to struggle like that against a team that's much below you in quality? No. And I understand, not everyone's gonna be pretty. Some of
Hey, they
them are
beat
gonna
Madrid
be.
4-2, bro.
I'm sorry.
They beat Madrid 4-2. So
Well, no, that's true, but not every performance was great, and overall, I think it was a
Because look at
decently
this.
good season.
Look at this right here. This is the current season that we are right now. As you can see, the point total, we are at 79. Real Madrid are at 68. Left with 6 matches left to go. But when we go on to last season on how it looked, Real Madrid on 86. We are only 7 points off in the next 6 games. Out of a possible 30, we only need 7 to match Real Madrid. And well, Barcelona had 17. We were 13 points off. The Liga was basically wrapped up. But I wouldn't say that Barcelona were playing or Real Madrid is like way off their usual performance. It's just that Barcelona have been much improved in the
Right.
league.
So maybe yeah, you're right. I think
look,
maybe
look, look.
I was a little wait.
You,
Let me answer real quick the question. I think maybe yeah. I think I went a little bit overboard with the comment about us not having a good season. I would say it's been good, but what I want to say is I would renew Xavi for 1 year
Yeah,
because
I agree.
I don't want to have to sack Xavi and then lose money. Renew his contract for 1 more year. Give him all the money he needs for the summer and let's see what we get. Because again, it's embarrassing that a team of the level of Barcelona and with the history of Barca to not compete at a European level. It's shameful. I'm not saying you have to reach finals every year, but at the quality that Barcelona has, at least
Mhm.
quarterfinals.
At least quarterfinals.
At least
okay.
quarterfinals.
Yeah, I would say at least.
Okay,
I would even say it's
okay.
at least
Look,
semis.
look. To wrap
Right.
this up, first of all, what I said about Barca getting lucky this season, I don't fully agree with him because it can very well be argued that the Barca players themselves, them seeing at some point like a 12, 13 point lead in La Liga, some of them maybe unconsciously they just slacked off a little bit in some plays. Maybe we saw a little bit of laziness. Who knows? Maybe if we saw Madrid 4 points back, 3 points back, that adds pressure, and you don't know how the players act under pressure. So I mean, Madrid's performance, yes, I mean, yeah, it did help that they haven't had as good of a year as last year in La Liga. But I think, nonetheless, I think Barca would have adjusted to the pressure or would have just rolled past as they have now. And again, I think Xavi has a lot of respect for the club, so I feel like he himself, if they somehow f- lost La Liga, I feel like he himself would step down. Obviously, he's gonna win it. At this point, I'm not trying to jinx anything. There's no way we're gonna lose it. But he's gonna at least one more year. And again, it's hard to think that he won't build off from this year with a team getting better, a team getting more united, him learning already how to get used after a full season. It's hard to think that they won't get better. So if they do get worse, you seriously gotta consider what to do with them.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Okay. Well, final topic before we round off. The summer transfer window. The point that I was making that hey, this team with the players, with everyone available, everyone fit, we play very well. We play very well. And you saw that against, for example, against Real Betis, against Real Madrid, um, multiple points throughout the season. But the thing is that if we don't have all these players fit, our performances drop. And this is I would say another example of the depth in the squad. I think a lot of players at this squad aren't at the level required to play at Barcelona, for example. I think this summer transfer window is going to be very huge in the players coming in and the players coming out. We need to raise funds. We know that as well. Um, And so, final question: we are gonna make guys. We are gonna make a more like detailed video about this, covering like multiple transfer rumors, discussing Barcelona's transfer window as a whole. But right now, just like a brief, um, a brief section, talking about Barcelona's transfer window. What signings do you guys want? Because it has been rumored again that Barcelona are now once again looking in to get a right back. There were reports in the Spanish media that Barcelona were not going to be looking for a right back, that they were fine with Koundé as a right back. But then again, Koundé isn't a natural right back. And we've seen throughout this season where Koundé has had some poor performances in that right back position. And it's natural. Hey, he's not a right back. You know, playing the center back is very different from playing a right back. And so, if you guys were Barcelona, what signings would you make?
Look, I won't give you names. I'll just give you positions.
Okay.
We need an actual right back. Again, Conde has openly said on the
Yeah.
media, I'm not a right back.
Okay.
But we need an actual right back.
Yeah.
First of all, most importantly, an actual right back.
Uh huh.
I think I heard somewhere that another center back. We don't need another center back. We already have four center backs, counting Conde.
Well, the deal with Inigo Martinez, the defender from Atletico Bilbao, he's been confirmed. He is coming to the club in the summer.
Oh,
It's going to be in the summer, but it's basically like wrapped up. Like he's going to be coming in as depth.
Okay, so at that point we have Garcia, Eric Garcia, Christensen, Araujo, Conde, um,
And Martinez.
Martinez. We've heard that Alonso might leave.
Yeah.
I know that. I think that that's as good of depth as you need as center back. Midfield, we really don't need help in the midfield. I don't really don't see Horse adding a midfielder on the with Kessie staying and stuff. We're perfectly fine in depth at least.
Okay.
I know we've talked about a backup striker. I've heard Aubameyang and I forgot the other name that I heard, but
Victor Roque.
exactly.
Maybe
Um,
Victor Roque has been mentioned.
Honestly, as long as they're solid enough to play those limited minutes for Lewandowski, I don't really care. And yes, we do need a consistent winger. Rafinha has not been consistent. Then there's a question mark to see if he can have a healthy season.
Hmm.
Fati has been a bust so far.
Yeah.
Ferran Torres, um,
Flashes here and there.
yeah, he's not extremely inconsistent. This 15-year-old is 15 years old, so they need a consistent winger they can throw out there every day and not having to play him one day against, depending on matchups. They need an actual winger that's gonna go out there and do what's expected of him. And then on the other side, maybe if they go after a left winger, they can prioritize them, but then Rafinha as a platoon on the right wing. We'll see what they
Hmm.
do, but to sum it up, right back, backup striker, winger.
Backup striker. Whoa, right winger, left winger,
At this point, I think it's a left winger.
left winger.
Yeah,
Okay.
because with Rafinha and Dembele on the right, I mean, I feel like
Okay.
do we agree?
Alex.
So I'm gonna go for something similar, but I'm gonna make a couple changes. We need a creative right back. We need
Okay.
someone that can play defense. Yes, I think Joao Cancelo is the perfect option for us.
The
I
only issue I think with Cancelo would be the price,
Yeah.
because
yes and no because his price has gone down since he's left City, I believe.
okay. Would you want Cancelo or Arnau Martinez, the Girona right back, who's very talented, young?
I
Um,
will want Cancelo because he's proven.
okay.
Cancelo's also, I believe, like 27. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
So someone look that up for me. Actually, I want to make sure. Um,
I'll look that
Honestly,
up for
Hernán
you.
Martinez gives me the vibe of us trying to solve a big problem with a small fix. To be honest,
yeah, I mean,
so
so Joao Cancelo,
Yeah, he's 20. He's 28. He's 28.
he's 20, right? So he's in his prime, I would say. I would go for a player like Joao Cancelo for right back. I would actually, we have been linked with Gundogan. I will get another midfielder because we've seen that when we have missed players like Pedri, we have really missed the creativity, and we see the best teams in Europe have the biggest depth. Look at teams like Manchester City.
No,
You
no,
can
no, no.
really,
For example, look today, in the game where the team rotated, Pep Guardiola put in Alvarez. Alvarez scored. He had a banger, from like
oh,
20,
go, yeah.
25 yards, and that shows depth. This is why Manchester City are going far. Um,
Exactly, and that's my point. I will go for Gundogan. He's a player who's getting his minutes reduced. I believe he's 30 years old, so he's a or 31, so he's already an older player, but still class.
yeah.
And I would again, I would go for my main focus wouldn't be a winger, it would be a backup striker. And why do
Backup
I
striker.
say this? I think Lewandowski needs the competition. If we were to sign someone like Aubameyang, whose price has been greatly reduced, but can still play at a good level, now his shortcomings at Chelsea don't really say much about him because overall Chelsea have been terrible this season. I think that goes without saying. But I would sign someone like I would sign someone like Aubameyang to give Lewandowski the competition, make him push himself. Because I think the other thing is Lewandowski has gotten too comfortable in the team.
Okay.
He's already been getting his goals, hasn't had to worry too much. Yeah, he's gonna play regardless. Barca aren't uh, a great scoring team. They don't have great attacking football yet. Well,
Okay.
not attacking football, finishing. They just don't have good conversion. But all I will say is we don't need more wingers. What my solution for the winger aspect would be if we are to get Messi. Well, regardless of whether we get Messi or not, I would keep Rafinha and Dembele.
Okay.
I would put Ansu Fati on loan, and I would keep Ferran Torres for depth. And why do I do this? Now, I think Barcelona are mainly going to stick to the four-man midfield and the two-man up top because
We'll
it's
see
just
what you saying that we have no idea what
right. But
Messi
but but,
what
but, but
Messi's
let's
role.
let's let's assume here because again we don't know in what direction we'll head
Hmm.
with Messi or
Yeah.
not. But I think Xavi's mainly going to stay with the four-man midfield. So up top, you're realistically going to have Lewandowski and the other wingers. That doesn't matter too much. But again, if Messi is to come, I think you have to offload one of the players, and I think that player needs to be Rafinha because we paid. I think we paid more money for Ferran Torres, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh well, we actually paid more money for Rafinha. Rafinha was like
Oh, that's true. That's
60.
true. Yeah,
Well, it was like
60,
60, like
but
68, like with that, like 68 in total with add-ons included.
right.
Rafinha
So
was
no,
like more
so
like 50, 55 around there.
you mean Torres?
Yeah, like Fernando Torres was more like 50, 55.
Yeah, I remember it was close,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would let go. I was just thinking of who was less expensive, so I would let go of Ferran Torres.
Hmm.
Try to get some money for him, and yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I argue with some of the statements you guys have said. The Barcelona's transfer window right now is four positions: Inigo Martinez done, Messi, Gundogan, and a backup striker, and that was even rumored. For example, Wamia, Vitor Roque. But the positions that I would like to focus on is right back. I would say make that our number one priority. Right
Mm,
back. We need to get a good right back. Joao
hmm.
Cancelo and Martinez from Girona. Juan Foyth, even though the price is like a little bit too steep, Real is asking for a lot. But get right back because right back, we have not found a replacement for Dani Alves since he left.
Yeah,
That's crazy. At a top club like
That
Barcelona,
was a minute ago.
like 2015.
who plays, for example, over 10 years, we haven't found a single right back to basically
Knows
to
a
make
lot.
that position his own. Like that's an embarrassment. Right back, solidify that, make that area strong. Find a good right back. Um, then number one. Second, CDM. Because for example, we don't know what's gonna happen with Busquets. Busquets is getting up there with age. Are we gonna keep Busquets? Are we gonna have Frankie de Jong in that role? Are we gonna be looking for Zubomendi? Uh, the
The things
perfect.
again, this all changes because if with Messi coming in, because does Xavi have the guts to say, you know what, let's switch up the midfield to accommodate for Messi playing a possible cam?
Well, but if Messi does that, you would just have possibly if that were the case, you would be
If that's
benching.
the case, because it's not getting minutes.
Yeah, Busquets is getting benched. You would play a double pivot of Gavi and De Jong. You let Pedri create with Messi, and then you put
So,
Lewandowski and
so with
Rafinha
that being
Yeah.
said,
for the
I
left.
feel like the first domino to fall will be the Messi signing, and everything else will be accommodating to how the
Oh,
formation.
but see, here's where I come into it. We also need wage reductions for Messi to come. We need Busquets and players to leave, or wait,
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
contracts to be organized.
No,
So, for
I
example,
completely
for
agree.
example,
Yeah.
if Busquets leave, or Jordi Alba leaves, Messi's coming back. It's that simple.
I'm pretty sure I forgot where I saw it, but it's a pretty reliable source. Jordi Alba and Busquets want to finish out the season with Messi,
Yeah, that's the thing. If
so
mhm.
they're going to take massive reductions. And I agree with you. What I said about the first domino to fall, I mean in terms of additions.
Okay,
Subtractions will need to be made before that.
okay,
But
yeah,
additions,
yes,
maybe.
Okay, so CDM, that's one position. That's where I would like to see maybe Gundogan come in.
Yeah.
Um, but also maybe Amrabat, maybe Bernardo Silva to add,
Yeah,
because if we're going to be playing with that 4-man midfield, we need a lot of depth in that midfield. We cannot have Sergio Roberto
Yeah.
in 2023 starting in that position. We cannot. No. We know that Xavi doesn't trust Paulo Torre. We have to see what happens with Yamin Jamal to maybe in maybe the cam or left wing position or something. But another midfielder, and up top, left wing and backup striker. I would say maybe 5 positions. Right back, CDM, left winger, backup striker, and the center back is already done. Because we haven't had a left winger since Neymar. Neymar left in 2017. And we haven't had a backup striker, a left winger. We've been playing with 4-man midfielders. We've been playing with Coutinho, who hasn't played well in that position. And we need a striker to give, as Alex said, competition to Lewandowski, because he's gotten way too comfortable in the team. But those are the positions that I would target, and those are the positions that I would focus on in the summer. But guys, that was it for tonight's episode. Today was a long episode. We were able to discuss about multiple topics. Brief about the majority we spent talking about the Real Betis game, but then we also touched up on the other possible transfer rumors, the Messi return. Xavi. But we will make a longer video in the weeks to come, in the days to come, talking about the transfer window as a whole, and give more detail about it, and some updates. But guys, remember, as always, I post a link on Twitter at Podcast10. Just feel free anytime you guys want to join. Just click on that button.